I always forget to clean my lens off. I really do. Probably wondering, what in the world is Mr. Bird talking about? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird, and we're blessed to have a company called ILEG Technology Screens. Of course, everything we have around here comes from Jesus. Everything. Everything that we have in this environment and so much more comes from God. Everything here. Now, some may choose to listen to this. Some may choose not to listen to it. I have fish on both sides. But I feel it's my duty to come out and talk about this at least once or twice a day. And what we talk about is basically, of course, I've had an interesting experience becoming a Christian and getting my life straightened out and getting it together. And I'm still learning. I always will be learning, no matter what. So, I talk to people about patience. And people will say, well, I know patience. I know patience. Don't get like that. You don't know patience. I don't even know patience. I'm still learning it. I've been Christian since I got out of lockup, and I'm still learning patience. I'm still learning it. Never get high and mighty thinking you know it all, because you don't. You just don't. I don't even know it all. Nobody knows it all. It's spiritually impossible. Only God knows it all. So let's talk about Shannon. Who is Shannon? Well, when I learned that the Lord can save anybody, and He can save anybody. If you look at Saul in the Bible, Saul, I think it's Saul in the Bible? Yeah, Saul, or Paul. He's Paul now. He's Saul in the Bible. Saul was a murderer of Christians. Saul went out and rounded up Christians and took them to be judged and executed and so forth. And you're talking about a very nasty human being, a person that went out and killed hundreds and thousands of Christians, killed them. And Saul was knocked off his horse, and God spoke, the donkey spoke to him, the horse spoke to him. And as you saw, Saul, why do you prosecute me? And Saul became a servant of God. And think of the destruction that he caused, the misery, the pain. Oh, he was every bit worthy of death. He was every bit worthy of it. And he was killing God's people on top of that. That made it even worse. God could have just struck him down and took him right there. And he could have killed him a long time ago. If he knew what Saul was going to become before what Saul was, he could have just ended him and now left him be born, period. But Saul had to be born because Saul became Paul, and Paul became an apostle that actually walked with Christ. So there was a purpose and a reason why. Now you're probably curious, who is Shannon? Shannon was a kid that I grew up with. Now at my age, Shannon was older. Shannon was like teenage years compared to my years, you know what I mean? But Shannon was a teenager. And Shannon was one of the worst kids in the neighborhood. I don't know which was, it was between two of them. There was the Stanford kids, which were unbelievable. There's some insane stuff. I mean, it's a shame. People say it comes down to the parents. No, not really, to tell you the truth. Honestly, parents can do a fantastic job. Kids can just come out rotten. That's what usually sometimes happens. You can't blame it on the parents. And the parents did everything for those kids. Everything. I don't think they even got saved, but I do know that a lot of them did die. There was a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. But they're all boys. They're all boys. And they're gifted kids. Football, basketball, any sport you name, well, not any sport, but the football, basketball, usually sports, baseball, these kids were good. I mean, they were really good. I mean, they were all born with like Michael Jordan skills, but they were just caught up in the evilness of the world, and they just did the most destructive things you could possibly ever think of. You just couldn't name some of the weird stuff they would do. It's like, you look at the family like Malcolm in the Middle, multiply that times 1,000, you have them. They were that bad. So, we had one of them, he basically AWOL from the military. He walked off the base. That's the first time I ever saw a military jeep in my entire life. I had army men and stuff. That's the first time I seen 3 or 4 MPs, just MPs pop up, and I had to ask my brother, like, what's this MP series? He said, that was military police. He must have AWOL. Went in the house and got him, bought him out. He fought him too. He's a big guy too. He fought him. But they had to beat them down. They put them in that truck and took them. I never forget that as long as I live. They were like that. They were all like that. One ended up in a gang and got in some bad trouble. Actually killed someone, and we knew them. Like, we knew them, right? We were friends with them and everything. They were just destructive. They did destructive stuff. They're like the Malcolm in the Middle kind of, like Reese. They were like that. But they were pretty cool from time to time. They just did destructive stuff. But anyway, yeah, one of them got caught up in a murder, spent the rest of his life in jail, ended up getting AIDS in jail and died. Uh, I don't know what happened to the younger ones. There were some younger ones. I think it was four of them altogether, but majority, most of them did die. But anyway, sad thing about it is I'm hoping that at least one of them was saved, but I don't know. I really don't know about that. And the parents pretty much going through the pain of what their kids put them through, it beat them down into nothing. I think they passed on too. So it's a sad case on that one, a really sad case. And then there is Shannon. Shannon was already deemed as two things were going to happen. You know, either he was going to be killed or he was going to go to jail. That was all to it. Shannon, you're always making biscuits. I'm going to make you a biscuit factory. I'm literally building you a biscuit factory out of boxes. You make biscuits all the time. But anyway, Shannon was deemed in the neighborhood as a kid that was definitely going to die in prison. He was going to go to jail or someone was going to kill him. One or the other, something was going to happen. Shannon did everything you could possibly think of under the sun. Stole cars, robbed people's houses, all kinds of stuff. We lived in a suburban area of Newark, Delaware. We lived in a very nice neighborhood. Shannon had it very good. His parents both had government jobs. He had a nice house. He was dressed well. You know what I mean? It was a very nice neighborhood I lived in before I came up here into the North Philadelphia neighborhood up in here, in this area. It was a different transition. But anyway, he came up. He was something else. He was something. I remember we had a swing set in the backyard, and Shannon went in the backyard and rocked our swing set until it fell over. Like, he was that destructive. Couldn't have nice things out there because Shannon found that he'd destroy it. He was a mixture of Dennis the Menace and Reese and whatever, and Tuesday from Wednesday, he was something else. He was just something else. If you were saying that there was the Antichrist of 666 of Omen, that would be Shannon. Shannon was something else. It was the worst of the worst. And we just swore up and down that this guy was going to be either locked up or someone was going to kill him in a driveway somewhere. He's always doing something destructive. So, and you had another one on the block. Mine, this is when I'm young. These are older kids now. These kids are like 16, 17. I'm a young kid at the time. I'm between 6 and 7. I say roughly 8. I say 8 and 9 years old. About 8, 9 years old, yeah. When I knew these guys. There's another one. He was also in the neighborhood too. He was responsible. Let's just say he got hit with manslaughter because he was responsible for the death of another kid. Because again, like I said, it was no shooting and carrying on. It was just dumb nonsense. Just stupid stuff that would get people hurt. And they got this idea, and the mother had a dream. This was before Shannon. Shannon was involved, not involved in this, but this is another kid. This is interesting how some of these people did not get saved and some people did. She had a dream her son died. She had a dream he was going to die that day. And she told him, don't leave the house. Whatever you do, don't leave the house for anything. She went to work. Of course, here pops up one of the other kids. There's a group, there's a few of them in the neighborhood, really. They're bad apples. And they coach this kid, let's go bike riding. So they were going somewhere, but they decided, let's cut across the highway. Let's take the highway on these bikes, and we can get there faster. Now, they're on the highway with bikes. I don't know why an officer, you remember, there's no cell phones back then. Remember, it was a long time ago. So there were cell phones, that kid's life probably would have been saved because somebody would have called the police and they would have been stopped and that would have happened right there. But there were no cell phones. So what are you going to do? So, they were on the highway and one of them got confused with where they were turning over and he struck a truck and he was killed instantly. That's the one the mother told him not to leave. She had a dream, he died. And yeah, that was a really horrible ordeal. But one of the kids were involved because he coached them to do this. He coached them to get on the highway. and he got hit with manslaughter charges. So he spent the majority of his life in a lockup system as an adult. He served him as an adult. Delaware doesn't play with certain things. They don't play at the end of the day. They certified him as an adult. But then there's Shannon. We knew any moment these guys right here, basically what they went through, Shannon had to be next. He had to be next. So by then we moved, we left, we came to Philly. And that's the last I ever heard of Shannon, ever again. Not until I come back to Delaware with some to see family, because I have family down there to go see how they're doing. And I go through my old neighborhood, looked exactly the same way. My neighborhood looked like Leave It to Beaver. You ever saw Leave It to Beaver? How nice it is? That's what my neighborhood looked in Delaware. There were two types in Delaware. There was the Riverside, which was a real violent neighborhood. It was a rough area. I've been up in Riverside before a few times when I was a kid. I had friends over there. I'm like, don't go to Riverside. You're not supposed to be over there. But I had friends over there anyway. You're a kid. You're not going to hang with your friends. And then there was our neighborhood, which it was not upscale, it was middle class, a lot of middle class workers in there. You had some doctors in there a little farther up and stuff like that. There was like three parts of that particular side of Delaware, which is on the west side, where you had the middle class, which was us, and then you had the really high-end rich people way on the other end. They had bigger homes on that side, and then you had the down low numbers down there. That was Riverside in those areas down there, which I've been down in those areas. I can say that I had little friends down there to hang out with. But anyway, so getting back to Mr. Shannon, but Shannon basically was an interesting character. Everybody in the neighborhood knew him. Everybody knew that Shannon wouldn't be surprised if he got locked up. Would not be surprised if he died. Like it was like, and even his own parents. It's bad when your parents say, "I got a black suit," about one ahead of time, because I know either he's going to get caught in someone's driveway stealing someone's tire off their car, or vandalizing someone's home, and someone's going to kill him. So they're already prepared. Already had money set aside for his funeral. That's how bad he was. Did he listen to his parents? Heck no. He listened to his parents. He didn't listen to nobody at all, period. Those kids had the weirdest nicknames in my entire life. Now, I didn't know. I knew three of them. It was three brothers. Three brothers. They were all bad. But Shannon was the worst one out of the group. Oh, good my gracious. They were like Malcolm in the Middle. They literally were. They were just like Malcolm in the Middle. They're literally just, I lived through Malcolm in the Middle. I literally knew people like that. But they were way worse than Malcolm in the Middle. But anyway, it was Shannon, Deanie, and Puss. I know, that's a nasty name. That was a nickname he got. I don't know how he got the nickname, but I never knew him by his real name. The older ones in my family, they knew them because they were around that age gap group with them. But I didn't because I was younger. But I remember, I know Deanie. Deanie was a little bigger. Shannon was short and stocky. And Puss was just a big, heavy kid. But anyway, that's all I knew. That's the only kid, Shannon, Deanie, and Puss. And they had a sister who never got in trouble, straight A student, you know what I mean? Did everything by the book. But those three were just, good gracious, they were something else. But anyway, Shannon was the leader of the pack. So long story short, I don't know what happened to the other two, but I do know when I came back, I was like, so, whatever happened to Shannon? Shannon's a priest. Shannon became a priest, a minister of God. I'm like, whoa, wait. He's what? Shocking. Completely shocking. I thought they would say, oh, he died, someone shot him, you know what I mean? He's in jail somewhere, whatever. That would be the normal thing for me to go, that's what I'm thinking in the back of my head. A priest has a church and everything. So God took someone that was the most destructive person we had in our neighborhood and made him a priest. Now, what he had to go through to get to that point, I'm pretty sure it was an eye-opening experience. I'm pretty sure he talks about it in his sermon, about how he became saved and the destructive nature that he had and the things that he done and all the stuff he's done. And he shows people at the end of the day, God can save anybody. Which is interesting because now, Shannon never had firearms. I had firearms. I had weapons, long guns, handguns. Yeah, in that neighborhood, it wasn't hard to get a hold of weapons. That's not hard to do. It's just who you know at the end of the day and who you can trust. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I've had weapons and stuff like that. I wasn't, good gracious, I really can't even say that to tell you the truth. Because I've never seen Shannon do drive-bys or anything like that. Thank God I didn't hit anybody at all, period. That's why I knew God was watching over me not to do anything stupid to wreck my life even worse than I was already wrecking it already when I was out there doing dumb stuff for the devil. So, yeah, I did all kinds of stuff at the end of the day. So, yeah, um, I had to think back and Lord saved me. He saved me. And you know, it's interesting that when my time came, because you get that period that comes up in your life, you got a choice. Some people don't even get the option. You're blessed if you get the option. Some people don't get the option. Some people are taken off this earth before they can ever get the option. You're already told when you come here, you only got a certain amount of time on this world. In this world, you only have a certain amount of time. You're already told this already. Some people take it seriously. Some people don't. You don't know when your time's going to come. You got an hourglass over top your head. Everybody, some people have more time, some people have less time. But either way, your time's going to run out. And depending on what the Lord has plans for you, whether you're going to be saved or you're not going to be saved. Whether the devil's going to got plans for you too, whether he's going to get you or he's not going to be to get you. He's got plans to get you over here, so he can get you over there. But what if you get saved over here? Then he loses you altogether, and then you just have to find somebody else or try to keep pressing on you to get you to mess up so he can get you over there. But either way, you're going. You're going somewhere. You're not staying here. That's what you got to realize. You're not going to stay here. Either your time's going to run out, either the devil's going to try to kill you and collect, or you can basically spend your time here serving God and know where you're going when you pass off this earth. Now, you can fluctuate in and fluctuate out. It don't make a difference to me at the end of the day. That's what the devil tells you to do. All I see is when people do activity like that, you're allowing the devil to talk to you. It's sad because I already opened the door where you're going. You're not going to heaven. If you're doing things where you're doing, you know the wrong things that you're doing. You know the wrong what you're doing. That's not God telling you to do those things. That's Satan himself having that conversation with you. And if Satan's having that conversation with you already, he's already begun the process of planting his seed in you to keep you on that path of hearing his voice, of him telling you to do the things that you should not do, to keep it growing, to keep it going, so that way he can figure a way to end you on this earth. And meanwhile, you got that hourglass over top of your head ticking, because you're not meant to be here forever. And he got saved. Shannon got saved. Shannon's a man of God now. And he could take that testimony of the destruction that he caused and showed how even God was able to change a man like him. Just like saw in the Bible. God changed him. And just like me, went out and did all kinds of destructive acts, ended up going through the prison system, and then turn around. And when that choice came for me, I chose God. Because I already seen the devil's work already. He's the one that got me in that situation to begin with. Listening to him at the end of the day. Why am I going to turn around and listen to him even more? Demon even spoke to me in the holding cell. Thank goodness he was in the next one over, because I couldn't imagine if he was close to me what he might have tried. And he had the devil speak to me, or one of his demons, or wherever it was, or whatever. It was something speaking to me, and it was talking to me. So, seeing that and witnessing that, sometimes the Lord allows you to see things, because he didn't have to allow the devil to speak like that. But it allows you to see things so you can get a clear understanding why you must take this path and why this path is very important for you to take. Because what is on top of you, what is watching you, what is hunting you, what is seeking you, he is warning you every day. Satan's around you every day you walk out that door. He watches you every day. He stares at you. He plots. He plans every single day. If you ain't got your life together, he's watching you as you sleep. He's figuring out different ways to get you off this earth. Like I said, you're no good to him here. Here, you have a chance of getting saved, if it is meant to be. But you have a chance of getting saved here. This could ruin his plans of him actually being able to take you. So, his object is to kill you. Because once you die and you leave this world, that's it. There's no more salvation. It's gone. Nothing at all. No more forgiveness. Gone. That's it. I have 2 deaths in our family. Young kids that died. Very young. Teenage kids that passed away. Two of my mom's grandkids passed away. They were out there living the life. Their time came. Satan was collecting. You got a time when you're supposed to leave this world, and Satan go about to collect. And they passed off this earth. Now, the parents want to believe at the end of the day, because people in pain will believe what they want to believe, but you have to face the facts. I'm not going to butter it over. They can hate me for the rest of their life, but I'm going to tell them the way it is, and it is what it is. If they weren't saved, if they did not accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, if they would live in this world, they're going to burn in the purgatory forever. They're going to go to hell. They don't want to believe that. They want to believe that they went to heaven. How? How could they enter the kingdom of heaven? It's virtually impossible. They can't enter the kingdom of heaven. Heaven doesn't take any blemished sheep. Can't pass into heaven with sin. That has to be washed away. You have to be prepped and ready to go to heaven. It's like when the preacher says the equivalence of taking fine, expensive wine and pouring it into a dirty bottle. You got to first wash the bottle out. Then you add the wine. You have to be baptized. Your sins have to be washed away. You're still a sinner on this earth. You're still weighed down by sin. They're their pain. They cannot understand that only way they can accept and get any peace as they believe that they're in heaven, in paradise, but they're not. I know where they're at. And for those people at the end of the day, somewhere that's heartless to say, no, it's not. It's the truth. It's in the book. Are you going to lie? Are you going to take God's word and lie and twist it up to basically fix your own feelings at the end of the day? You can't do that. It's God. Who are you to sit there and do that? Man is very, very bold. The breath that comes out of your mouth every single day is a gift. You don't have to breathe. You don't have to wake up. You don't even have to function. Your heart doesn't have to work. Your kidneys don't have to function. None of that has to work. It can shut down just like that. Where's your power then? You don't have any power at all, period. You're frail. Like what they say, the guy sings a song, Candle in the Wind. That's what your life is. Here one day, going the next, just like that. So who are we to question the Creator? To tell him what we think the Bible should be. But unfortunately, they are going to be in purgatory. It is what it is. I see preachers do it all the time. Preachers will have people come in and pay for a funeral. And they know darn well that person was never saved. Then another person drank, carried on the whole 9 yards, carried all the sins of this earth, and they go, he's in heaven somewhere. You sinned. You just lied. You put words in God's mouth. That's what you did. You know darn well that's not true. You have to speak and say the truth. What did it say? Jesus said, when you speak my word, you're going to have mother against daughter, you're going to have father against son, you're going to have brother against sister. That's what you're going to have. True Christians, everybody could walk out of that church. If a true Christian believe what is true, they're not leaving because they know that he spoke the truth. Some people preach because they want people to hear a certain word they can praise to them at the end of the day. A bad type of preacher. That's a very bad type of preacher who requires praise. Unbelievable. Yeah, they have them. They do have them. Those are the ones. We're going to talk about that one next. The professional rip-off artists. And what makes other preachers look bad is the thief. And he's spoken of in the Bible. The person who rips off God is spoken of in the Bible. As a matter of fact, Jesus was so angry, he walked into the church. He beat them out of the church. Imagine how angry God would have to be. Jesus, the Son of God, how angry he would have to be to pick up a stick, walk into a church, and beat these people out of that church. And this is the man who hung on a cross for you. Was beaten, tortured, spit on, and hung on the cross. And he was so angry watching these men in my Father's house making a profit off my father's name. And he walked in there with a stick and beat the daylights out of him. How dare you? And you got men today that steal from God. I'm here to save your life. You have no idea what you serve at the end of the day. When you're out there carrying on the streets and you're out there doing what you want to do and fighting and carrying on, you have no idea what you serve. You have no idea what's sitting there whispering in your ear, smiling, looking at you every single day with a grin on his face, just watching you. You have no idea. I think that's the reason why when I got caught up in that situation and that demon spoke to me in that jail cell across from me, my mom handed me that Bible because I didn't know where I was going. I was blank. My mom was completely blank. I'm in an area where I don't have my people no more. I'm in an area where I don't have weapons. I don't have this. I messed up. I messed my entire life up. I destroyed my life at 16 years old. I haven't even had a chance to live yet. I destroyed my life. I had to realize that. I wrecked my entire life. It's gone. The same demon that had me go on do all that destructive nature is the same demon that was in there speaking to me. Not yet, but he was actually in my head, telling me to kill myself. There's no way out of this. There's no way out of this. There's substantial evidence they have on you. It's going to be insane. There's no way. You're going to have to kill yourself. You're going to have to. You got no way out of this. And this is how we're going to do it. When you get in that courtroom, you're going to launch at the judge. They're going to shoot you dead in that courtroom. They're going to kill you. He was already planning my death already in that holding cell. And I was thinking about it too. Being in a situation at 16 years old, scared to death, in a situation where I'm facing massive jail time. I'm talking about certification for an adult. My mother came back and said they are considering certification. I'm just telling you, my mother's being honest with me up front. She ain't gonna make it look pretty. It is what it is. You could spend the rest of your life here. I'm already in a holding cell already. I'm already freaking out in a holding cell. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in prison? Are you kidding me? At 16 years old, I'm certified as an adult? That's messed up. No, I didn't kill anybody. But anyway, it was a mess of stuff. But I didn't kill anybody. I just did destructive stuff. Really destructive stuff. But anyway, so long story short, I'm sitting there. And now I'm in this spiral. I'm in this crazy spiral that's going around, and I'm already accepting my fate. I'm dead. I go through the system, I'm dead. I'm 16 years old. I haven't even lived my life yet. I don't even know I don't even have anything. My life is gone. It's gone. There's nothing to think about. I don't have a future. It's gone. My mom came back in. I was in the holding cell for quite a bit. My mom came back in because they were figuring out what the freak to do with me. So they came back in. I was in there for about 3 days in the holding cell, where they processed me and figured out where they're going to put me at. So my mom comes back in. And my mom had favoritism. Christians have favoritism. She was there to walk right in. They didn't search her nothing. She walked right in. And they would come back and say, man, your mother's such a sweet person. How the freak are you like this? Why are you even like this? Your mother's the nicest person. I had the most nicest conversation with her. I couldn't imagine the nightmare you must have put her through. Officers were talking to me like that. I used to get extra detention because my mom would go talk to the teachers. And the teacher's like, my goodness, I couldn't imagine what you must be like at home. I seen the stuff you do here. It's destructive. Because I was mischief. I was always in some kind of trouble. I could imagine the nightmares you cause at home. You got 2 weeks detention. I'm like, 2 weeks for what? What the frick I get 2 weeks for? I got to give your mother a break from you. That's how sweet my mother would be when she come in. Real nice person. She's a mother, real down earth person. Like I said, those people who said nasty things about her on their YouTube channels and letters you sent out to her, you're going to pay for that. That's written in the book of life. My mother's in heaven right now. She's a true blue Christian woman. And you spoke nasty about her. She would have forgave you, yeah. If you had spit in my mother's face, she'd have wiped the spit from her face and she would have sat you down and fed you. She'd have took care of you. That's the kind of person she was. That's what I want to be like. I want to be like that. She was that type of person. And you would have said the most nastiest things to that woman, and she would have sat there and fed you and forgave you. And that's the person you disrespected. That's why I say you're lucky. You're very lucky that it wasn't spoken of. Nobody in that family found out. Only I knew about this because my mother helped a lot of people out. She did. And those rough, nasty, violent neighborhoods, there were a lot of kids that didn't get supper, who didn't get lunch, who didn't get breakfast. And they could always come over to Miss Mary. My mom would cook for them. She loved cooking for the kids. She cooked, make food for them and all that. Try to get them into church. She knew people at the end of the day. She got one kid into a really good private school where he excelled. She was always trying to do better for the kids. Always. Always. Anyone would have got out to anyone, especially when she passed, I guarantee you, and I'm sorry to put it this way, but I know these people at the end of the day, you wouldn't be walking around right now. You really wouldn't be. Because they're not all Christians. Some went back to their old ways of life, doing what they do at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, they know my mom and they respect her. Mr. Fernando sitting in your apartment right now, they would have came and got you. They would have went to your job. Anyway, they would have came and got you. Some of these people have very heavy gang ties. And they know my mother because my mother took care of them. My mother tried to talk them out of it and get them out of it. But, people want to do what they want to do. Use my mom. Look at the destruction I got into. But they had found out what you had said anything about them, my man, your life you'd have been hunted. You would have got a bounty on your head. That was their mom at the end of the day. Everybody called her mom. Everybody called her mom. Some are now police officers. Some are, they do this. They got different jobs and things that they do. But they got word that I sent, and let any of them get those letters, your life would have been over. Don't worry about not being able to find you. They'll be able to find you. They'll find you. They'll definitely find you. You're talking about the mother at the end of the day. Someone who basically took a chance on them when the rest of the world shut doors on them. And you disrespected that. So the fact that I had that information on me, and I could have easily made a phone call to anybody about what you just did, showed them the evidence, your life would have been done. Now, me knowing that I had that opportunity, and I still have that opportunity to this day. The reason why I don't follow that road, because I'd be following the devil's path. We don't do the devil's work. We did that a long time ago. That's what cost me 8 years and 9 months of my life. Playing his game at the end of the day. I put it in God's hands. Like if a letter comes here, guess where it goes at? It goes in my Bible over there. You're in God's hands now. That's far worse than what any one of these guys may do. Because now you're in God's hands. God's going to handle you. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, I take your letters. I put them in the Bible. Give them to God. God takes care of you. I watch my enemies fall. I watch them crumble. I watch them self-destruct. I watch them die. Not something I was wishing for. Like, I wish that my enemies would die. No, I hope they live. And I hope they get baptized. I hope they get saved. I hope they become servants of God. But it didn't work out that way for them. Some died of COVID. One of them actually did die of COVID. Some were heart attacks. Yeah, passed off this earth. They're not here anymore. And they were not saved. So they're in purgatory. They'll burn forever. That's where they're at. And it's a shame and it's sad. It really is. But yeah, I had the option to, if I was that person way back then, if I was the person, I would have handled it myself. But if I was that person, yeah, I could have easily contacted one and said, hey, look, I got a problem over here in California. There's a guy over here sent some letters over here about my mom. And that's it. You have them in California. You should know them. Got one over in Baltimore, Maryland. They got people over there too. All up in North Carolina, South Carolina, all up in that area. People up there too. They're all over the place. But the person you disrespected was a person that took care of these people and they had nothing at all. bought them clothes, took them to church, treated them like they were her own kids. And they all called her mom. I'll never forget one time, she was going to the store to go pick up something. And this guy knocked her down and took her purse. And all I know is at the end of the day that they got the purse back, but we never found out what happened to the guy. And all she said was, "Please tell me you didn't do what I thought you did." And I said, Miss Mary, everything's okay. You got your pocketbook back, everything's okay. Everything's good, it's all taken care of. And that was the end of the conversation. I never saw that guy ever again. He was a nut job, but he went in the neighborhood robbing people. And knock over an old lady and take her pocketbook, stuff like that. Got the wrong person. No, did my mom condone? No, she didn't. She didn't want to know about it, and she said, "I hope they didn't. Hope they didn't hurt him or anything whatsoever." But we never saw him again. Now, I knew what happened. People I knew on the street, they knew what happened. I'm not going to say it on camera. And my one of my sisters, the one you mentioned in a video, which again, bad idea, extremely bad idea. They're not saved people at the end of the day. Bad idea. I mean, you still got to answer for that because they still want to know who is he. But they're not doing anything right now. As I said before, I'm praying they don't. Lead us to God, let God handle this situation. We got it taken care of. We're going to take this to court and get it taken care of. Let's do what we need to do and just let it be. See that, Fernando? I got to ask people in my family to let things be. Mr. Fernando thinks he's a tough guy. That's what he thinks he is. He's a tough guy. You'll get a chance to test that you're tough guys because you're going to jail. You're going to be in there. And this is where you're going to have to find God. Because that's a place you're going to have to find God in there. Can't be big and bad in there. You got plenty of big and bad people in there that'll test you every day of the week. They will test you every day of the week in there. Be big and bad in there. Act like you're a tough man in there. See what happens. You're bumping to them in there all day long. Just waiting for somebody to talk some nonsense. You're going to need God in there. You need to find God in there. You have to. You have to find God in there. Devil's going to be in there waiting for you. He is. He knows he got a higher chance of killing you there than out here. Definitely got a higher chance. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to sweeten his opportunities and getting you off this earth. So, Shannon got saved. I'm so happy about that. There were a couple of YouTubers that got saved I was happy about. There was Stone Fox Media. I used to watch this guy. He was in the Xbox. He was deep in the Xbox. He's an Xbox fanboy. I was an Xbox fanboy. And he used to curse and drink alcohol on his channel. I wasn't big on the whole cursing thing. But he talked about some really good topics at the end of the day. Just had to stomach the cursing part. But anyway. Yeah, one day he was a military guy. One day he became a Christian. He just stopped cursing, stopped drinking. You never know what changed, what happened to change this. But yeah, he stopped cursing. And of course he lost followers because followers wanted to be near all that cursing and carrying on. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. If I lost all my subscribers because I talk about God, I'm happy with that 100%. I am. Because those are people that I know that have followed the devil. The devil doesn't here like to hear about God. The devil can't stand God. He don't want to hear about God. So if I lost those people at the end of the day, hopefully they'll find their way to God. But if they don't want to be here, then they just don't want to be here. I'm not going to get mad about that at the end of the day. I'm not trying to invite Satan into my life. I'm trying to keep him out of my life. So if it bothers me to talk about God and you don't like it, then, it's a good thing you left. Hopefully you find God in the process, but it's a good thing you left. So yeah, I'm glad. One thing I'm also too happy about too, trials and tribulations. I'm happy about that. Because the Lord will put you through some stuff you got to go through. Some crazy stuff you got to go through. He never puts you through anything you can't handle. Never. That's one thing I love about the Lord. Never puts you through anything you can't handle. Man, I had to go through some interesting trials and tribulations I had to go through. But it makes you a stronger Christian. Because you got to remember what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the devil at the end of the day. You're dealing with somebody who knows everything about you. He knows everything about you. He watches you every day. He knows your sins. He knows your secrets. He knows everything about you. He knows the Bible. He knows the Bible like the back of his hand. He's a crafted, sneaky, dirty enemy. He knows everything. He has been here since the dawn of time. He's been here. He knows it all. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the ultimate soldier. That's what you're dealing with. A person knows everything about you. That's what you're dealing with. That's your enemy at the end of the day. Don't worry about Frank across the street. That ain't your biggest problem. What your biggest problem is them 16 demons sitting in your backyard looking at you like, we've got to figure a way to kill this guy. That's what you got to worry about. When you're driving to work, the demon is sitting in the back of your car smiling at you. When you're sitting at your cubicle, demon sitting at you across from the watering hole, staring right at you. Sitting at your lunch table, smiling at you, but you can't see it, but he can see you. Just sitting there waiting for you. Thinking of the opportunity. How do we get this guy to this guy? We got a guy over here who's a murderer that will shoot anybody at the end of the day of the week. How do we get these two to know each other so we can start something with them? Always on the side of the road driving. Let's see. Let's jump into that guy over there. Put some evil thoughts into him. Make a nasty gesture to this guy. He'll make a nasty gesture back. We get those two to fight. Maybe one of them will kill each other. We might get lucky. Road rage. The devil. Right there. That fast, that quick. Figured out a strategy plan. Big chessboard, just looking like, it's in a car right here. This guy's really, really ticked off right here. Let's keep pushing him. Let's keep pushing. Let's get him angrier, angrier, angrier. Let's push that anger into his path. Maybe those two will start fighting. We'll jump into his head, and the minute that guy sits there and says, oh, you blah, 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 that fast. Boom, devil's in your head that fast. Come out. Now I want you to say blah, 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 blah. It's like the devil's taking his hand and doing this, and your mouth is moving as he's doing this. He's going to say this, and he's going to say that, and now we're going to give him a threatening word to say to him, and you got a gun. How about you pull out that gun and point it at him through the window? But then you got a firearm too, and you can't let him threaten your life. There you go. And then you hear on the news that two people killed each other through road rage. They shot each other to death. That's how fast they work. Meanwhile, these guys die. They end up in purgatory. They get a look at what was speaking to them. Horrible. I couldn't imagine the horror, how ugly these things must look. They must look absolutely terrifying. And you can scream all you want, and nobody can hear you. You can call out to God, he can't hear you either. And you're going to be with them for eternity. Yeah, that's how they play their game. And they got you that quick. In hospitals, you have demons and angels in hospitals. Demons are to collect what they invested in. God is there to collect what belongs to him. You good servant, you've done your job, you go home with me. Servant, you haven't done your job, that's who's waiting for you. So, yep, demon talked to me in a jail cell. Right across from me, sat there and said, and that guy's voice completely changed. It wasn't his voice. He was talking to somebody in the cell right next to him. And all of a sudden, he turned around and looked at me. The guy paused, like someone just paused his life. He just wasn't moving. And the demon sat there and had a conversation with me and said, that book can't help you. That book can't help you now. There's nothing that book can do for you. You might as well flush it down the toilet. And I thought about that for a minute. I felt my hand taking the book out of my pocket and putting it in that toilet. And I came out of it and I put the Bible closer to my chest and it turned his head. When the officer came back in, he was talking normal to the other guy. The other guy was speaking to him. And I was like, oh my goodness, I just saw a demon. Never saw him before. Never heard or saw one before. And I saw one that day. Now, I haven't seen anything else after that. Nothing else after that. But I do know when I got out for the first 2 months, the first month I got baptized, because it wasn't ready for me to see these things yet. When I got baptized, I didn't see any demons at all. And once my faith got to a point where it got much more stronger, much more trials and tribulations to build me stronger, for 2 months I saw demons. Needed something you, not in their true form, but enough of a form basically to freak you out. I saw them for 2 solid months. I even got chased by death itself. Mother told me not to leave the house. People at the church told me that death is following me. Death is coming for me. And I saw something. And that was the most creepiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So there's some other ones that walked up to me in broad daylight and had a conversation with me. They were creepy. And you got to be really careful. Do not extend your hand to them because they will grab you and transfer right into you, possess you. So if it comes up to you and such that instinct, the Lord will tell you, back it up, back it up, back it up. Don't get in an argument with it at all, period. How are you going to do? You're going to give evil for evil? It is evil. You give evil for evil. Back away from it. If it tells you, like, hey, I got something for you, don't extend your hand. Don't do that. Don't want to do that. That's why when they came out, they bought this little Bible out from 2 old women and said, here, I want you to read from this book. Here, take it. No. Why, you grab me? No. I know what they were. But the Lord allowed me to see that because I was following a demon. And I was just so embittered by hatred when I was young. I fed off hatred. I lived off hatred. I was embittered by hatred. And those demons were talking to me 24/7 around the clock, speaking to me. Filling me full of hatred every day. Trying to push me to go kill somebody so I can end up in a really bad situation. Just feeding that hatred. Watching other demons and people that were possessed by those demons. You don't got to be possessed by basically just bouncing up and down and spitting pea soup and spit up across the screen. There's different types of possession. The exorcist isn't one type of possession, it's just different kinds. There are ones that walk around you wouldn't even know. In a million years, you wouldn't know. A Christian could pick that up. They could see it. But an everyday person, you can't see them. They can have a normal conversation with you. And you would never know that they were demon possessed. So be careful what's walking around you. People think, oh, it's possessed. It's got to jump up and down and scream. Its head's got to turn all the way around. No, they don't have to do that. It could be an everyday. It could be a woman you meet at the bar. Somebody you meet at a restaurant. They talk to you normally. And you would never know there's a demon in there. Sat there and said in the Bible, Satan can come in the form as an angel. Got to be real careful. Wolves in sheep's clothing. But after when I started seeing those demons for 2 months, the Lord allowed me to see that. Now, not one of them was able to touch me, but I was able to see what was walking around me every single day that I was out there carrying on. And the reason why he allowed me to see that gives me an understanding that never, ever listen to those voices. When you guys attack me and come after me, you think that makes me angry? No, it doesn't at all, period. You think I fear you? No, I don't. I know what you are. I know you're Satan. I know you allow the devil to work through you. And you do the devil's work. So I don't fear you at all, period. The demon that tells you what to do fears me. Fears God. He knows I serve God. So he fears me. But he's going to use you to do something stupid so he can get you. You can't get me. I'm saved. But you're not saved. So he's going to use you to destroy your life so he can get you. Because he wants to torment you in ways you never even thought were even possible. He wants to watch you scream, suffer, cry, beg. He wants that more than anything in the world. So he's going to use you to try to attack me. But he knows nothing can happen to me because I serve God. But he knows you don't serve God. So he's got you. That's what you play. So when you do dumb stuff like that, you're setting yourself up for damnation. Prison and lawsuits is not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is time and salvation. That's your biggest problem right now. He's going to collect the time he put in on you. He's going to collect it. Unless you figure out a way how to get your life together and walk with Christ. Other than that, he's going to collect. And so you don't get your life together. So you still live in this world. You got an hourglass over top of your head. Your time is ticking. You don't know how much time you have here. So if you don't get a chance to get saved, get your life together, and you wake up in the next life, and you scream out to God, and God says, I don't know you. I never knew you. If God doesn't know you, guess what does know you? So if you saw what I saw for 2 months, the demons that I saw for 2 months, you'd be terrified about what's having a conversation with you. That's why when you do dumb stuff to me, and the devil pops in and says, oh, you got to do something bad to them. You got people, you know people, you can make phone calls, you can have this taken care of right now. I know what you are having a conversation with me. Oh, no, you're not doing that today, buddy. I know who you are. That's what I'm having to talk with the devil. Oh, I know you are. We've done this already, remember? Years back, I lost all that time, doing dumb stuff, following you at the end of the day. Now, we're not doing any of that at all, period. I'm giving it to God. God's taking care of that, okay? Bye-bye. Because I know who he is. Well, you guys don't know who he is. Well, you do know who he is, and you follow him. And he tells you to do something. Oh, go send him letters. Go slander his face all over YouTube. Go do false demonstrations against his Lord's blessings. You follow him. So we know the destruction that's coming your way. Gentlemen, you're not young. You're older, which means you have a shorter hourglass. Your time is running out rapidly. You don't know when, and you don't know where, and you don't know how, but you are leaving this planet. You're not promised to be here forever. And at the timeline age that you're at, you can easily have a heart attack, stroke, and anything can happen. Or the devil can figure out some master plan to pretty much off you and kill you. You're being hunted, and you don't know it. And if you think at the end of the day, going to church, I see people go to church, praise the Lord and everything, and go outside and do the same destructive nature. The devil can walk in church too, right? Satan walks in out of heaven. There's a reason in the Bible. Satan's walking out of heaven. The Lord says, where are you going? He says, I'm going to and fro. He'll go there and cast lots for your soul. What about him? He ain't doing anything. He's just acting up and carrying on. He's just prosecuting one of your people at the end of the day. You don't let him get away with that? Man, just destroy him right now. You don't deserve to live. You sit there and challenge God. Man, look at him down there. That's the same demon that came in and said, hey, I want you to go do something and harass this guy over here. That's what I want you to do. Go harass him. And you go harass that person and carry on and act up. And that person gets harassed and says, you know what? This is the devil attacking me. And I know his work at the end of the day. I'm going to give this to God. And God is sitting there watching you because that Christian just gave his problems to him. And then the devil walked into heaven and says, yeah, see that guy over there? That guy's harassing one of your own people at the end of the day, knowing what he just told you to do. How about you just turn your back just a little bit so I can get my claws in him? Just give me, he ain't even working time. Look at the stuff he's doing down there. He's attacking him over there for no reason at all. Yeah, he's over there telling you to do something stupid so he can get his claws in you. Come on, just you don't need him. You got all these. None of it. You can miss one of them. Let me get him. Meanwhile, he'll go back there and say, well, I need you to do this. You go do this and that. You do something far worse. And it hit the Christian. The Christian go, yeah, that's the devil again. I'm going to give it to God. And Jesus, I'm having a problem with this individual online. I need you to put this in your hands, Jesus, and take care of this for me. Amen. Lord, hear it. Devil pop back up in heaven again. Go, look at him. He did something far worse. Just turn your back. Just look. Let me have him. Let me have him. That's what's going on for you right now. You're in a bidding war right now. And look, you're sitting there like, I don't know. See, I'm going to teach him something. He's going to learn something. He's going to learn from trials and tribulations. He's going to learn. You're going to go through a rough patch in life. You are. And again, God's peoples are protected. So Lord can punish you for touching us. But he's not going to kill you. If he's got plans for you, he didn't kill me. I'm still here. If he's got plans for you, he says, well, no, I'm not going to let you get this one over here because I got plans for him right there. I mean, yeah, look at him. Yeah, he's a mess. He's definitely a mess. You can't harm my Christian over here. It's not going to harm him in any way whatsoever. You can't touch him. I'm God at the end of the day. How are you going to come into heaven and tell me at the end of the day that he's going to do harm? You're the one telling him to do the harm. That's how crazy, that's how insane the devil is. How backwards and how insane he is. You're telling him to do the destruction, to try to harm one of my people at the end of the day, to get me angry, to smite him, or give you the opportunity to take him. Isn't that interesting? Now, the Lord can sit there and say, well, you can't touch him. He is going to learn something. Whatever he does will not harm my Christian at the end of the day, because that's why we serve God. He protects us. And a lot of things, other things too. So he's not going to hurt my Christian. It's not going to happen. My Christian's hand will continue to be blessed. And every time you try to curse my blessing, the Lord says, here's your blessing, Christian. Here's your blessing, Christian. Here's your blessing, Christian. And then he'll get the devil jump in your head and go, to make you angry and upset because our blessings keep growing. Try to make you figure out different ways to try to disrupt the Lord's blessing. But you can't do that. That's God. That's the very same God who is protecting you from the demon that's having conversations with you, that's trying to destroy you, that's bidding for your lot right now, that's sitting there saying, oh, just turn your back just a little bit so I can get my claws in him. I just want to rip his flesh a little. He did it to Job. He challenged Job. He went and challenged God on Job. I bet you if you curse him, let me destroy him. Let me destroy him. Let me curse him. Let me destroy his life, his family. Let me take it all from him. All your blessings, and I guarantee you he'll curse your life. I guarantee he'll curse you. God was like, okay, you go ahead. You destroy whatever you want to destroy. Take it in. But you can't kill him. Because he knows if you kill him, you can't kill him. So the devil goes in to Job, kills his family, kills his livestock, destroys his land, take away his wealth, took it all from Job. Everything from him, took it all from him. Job was out in the street, homeless. Job was still praising the Lord, still giving the Lord blessings, still praising him. And the devil comes back, he's upset and angry. Okay, I see. How about this? How about you let me touch his skin? Let me touch his flesh. I bet you if he's in pain, he'll sit there and he'll basically curse you. So God said, go ahead. Just don't kill him. The devil can't kill him. The devil goes down there and gives him all kinds of sores and boils and rashes and all kinds of hives all over his skin. He's in extreme pain. He still don't give up on God. The devil comes back even angrier now. Okay. That's not working. How about if we have his friends all turn on him? He's definitely going to curse you now. He's definitely going to curse you. Here comes his friends. Oh, you must have done something wrong. Look at you. They're all judging him. Look at you. You had wealth. You had a beautiful wife. You had an amazing family. You had cattle as far as the land could see. You were very rich and wealthy, and God took it all from you. You must have done something bad for God to do this to you. And Job still didn't give up on God. And God fought. Job fought and protected his Lord against those who doubted God and said, "Oh, God's this and God's that." At the end of the day, if He's going to allow you to go through this, then He's not a worthy Lord. And the other ones were sitting there saying that you must have done something horribly wrong. What if this happened to you? He stood standing his ground, and he basically gave all the glory to God. That's what he did. Like if I was homeless and lost everything, I was out in the streets, lost my cat, SPCA took it, and I ended up in the streets. And I was eating out of trash cans. You think I would basically curse God? No. I would still give him the glory every day. I would still give him praise every single day. I had that life already. I've been homeless. I've eaten trash. I've starved. I've had my lights cut off. I've been through all that. Way before I even started this business, I've been through some trials and tribulations you would not even believe. I've been tested. Even being locked up in a system where I was going to lose 40 to 80 years of my life. I had to put my trust in God that he was going to save me from this. When I had prosecutors screaming down my back and telling me that he's a menace, he's this, that, and the other, he needs to be locked up forever, he never seems to be seen again. Even a judge that yelled at me and screamed at me and told me to get out of this courtroom, he never wanted to see me again. I had to have that faith that God was not going to turn his back on me, that he was going to have my back through what I was going through. Terrified, scared to death at 16 years old, I think I'm going to spend the rest of my life in a prison system. Probably get murdered, be killed, who knows what's going to happen to me in there. All the horror stories I've heard, far worse. Who knows what's going to happen to me in my life. Even when I got out of that situation, the devil came at me even harder because he was trying to get back what belonged to him. And I've been through so much stuff. Like, I've been through hunger. I've been through it all. Everything. I've eaten out of trash cans, all that stuff. And I still didn't refuse to give the devil the satisfaction of thinking at the end of the day that I won't curse my Lord and Savior at the end of the day. I could have absolutely nothing. You think all this stuff at the end of the day defies me? No. My Lord is what defies me. My Lord is who I serve at the end of the day. I can lose it all. I can be homeless and have absolutely nothing, and I will still stand by him 100%. This means nothing to me. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. What it means to me is my relationship with Jesus. That is more to me than all of this. So to make these open, empty threats that, oh, you're going to lose this and this is going to happen, I don't fear that. I serve God. That's the part that people of hatred don't understand. They think, oh, if he loses everything, his life is in turmoil. I can lose everything. I could have nothing. I could be in a cold, in a freezer box, in a refrigerator box, freezing, and I'll still give him praise. Because I've lived life, I lived my life that way at one point. I lived in an abandoned house. I know what it's like to freeze. I know what it's like to go cold. I know what it's like to not have anything in my stomach. To have no one to depend on. Not even family. Nobody but God. To have 100% faith. That's what you're dealing with at the end of the day. A person who puts 100% of his faith into my Lord and Savior. That's what you're dealing with. You can't break me. You can't destroy me. You can't take anything from me. You can't do anything at all, period, to me. Because all that I have comes from God. I live my life like that every single day. Everything comes from God. I got plenty of people I can borrow money from. A lot of money from. I choose not to do this. My faith comes with God. He gives everything that I need. If it's meant to me to have, it's meant to me to have. If it's not, it's not. And same thing like Job. When Job went through his torment, when Job went through what he had to go through, and the devil didn't win, and the devil was in there plotting on him, it didn't work. The devil left. He was angry and upset. And what happened to Job? Job got everything back. 10 times fold, he got everything back. More than he ever had, he got it back. Because he did not give up. His faith was with the Lord 100%. And even everything that he went through, he refused to curse God. Because their bond and their friendship and what they have is unbreakable. People will sit there and praise God and be happy and have nice cars, a nice home and all that. But the minute that's all taken apart, some of them will crumble and fall apart. Some will get angry and get mad at God. And God, why? Why would you do this to me? Why? Why did you thought you loved me? Blah, blah, blah. He did love you. That's why you're still here. You're still functioning, still breathing at the end of the day. If he didn't love you at the end of the day, he could have taken your life a long time. He could have sat there and just moved over to the side. And the devil was like, oh, thank you. Walked over and killed you. The fact that he allowed his son to die on the cross so you have the opportunity to be saved shows that he loves you. Because he didn't have to do that at all, period. The fact that when Adam and Eve ate from the tree that we're still breathing, it's the fact he still loves us. The fact that Noah, when he destroyed the world with water and he allowed people to survive, to live on to the next branch of life, it shows he loves us. He didn't have to go through all that. He tired of us at the end of the day. You know what? Not meteor, blow out, take out the earth, be done. I'm going to take the moon, I'm going to move it over here and just watch the earth get destroyed. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any of that. He doesn't even have to be. We don't have to be here. We don't, at the end of the day, God does not owe us nothing at all. We owe God. That's another problem people have. People think God owes them. How does God owe you? How? How is it possible he owe you? You're disobedient, you're destructive, you do whatever the heck you want to do. You don't worship him, you don't follow him. Some of y'all curse him, you want him out of your schools. I find that interesting. They don't want God in their schools. But the minute you get an armed man walking through a school with an AK-47, now everybody's praying to God. But you don't want him in your schools. I was coming up when God was in the church. The church was in the schools, and I loved it. It was fantastic. Now, if you say pledge allegiance to the flag and you add God into it, oh, that's considered to be hurting someone's feelings at the end of the day. Whereas the same person gets on an airplane and a wing pops off of it, that'll be the person in the middle of the aisle praying his brains out, asking God to save his life. Yeah, you only call on God when you can see. Some people only call on God when it's convenient. You know, God has to remind us every so once in a while on who we really are. That's why when you have catastrophic storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, things that you can't even explain at the end of the day, that's the Lord telling you that I own this world, you don't. Try to fix that at the end of the day. Category 7, Category 8, Category 10 earthquakes that could pop up easily and level everything. Try to stop that at the end of the day. Your military is useless against a storm at the end of the day. You get a Category 10 earthquake, you know the destruction behind a Category 10? What good would your army do against you can't shoot it. You can't blow it up. What are you going to do? What if it decides it takes the Earth's core and severs it in half? Or stop it off its axle. Knock the Earth off its axle. That's literally how bad that earthquake that popped up under the ground that almost took out Japan. It was so powerful that it knocked the Earth off its axles for a couple of seconds. You know how powerful an earthquake would have to be to do that? People think, oh, because this area doesn't have it. The area can have anything it wants to have. At the end of the day, it's God's planet. At the end of the day, it all belongs to him. There's a big picture behind Mr. Shannon. Mr. Shannon got his life together. I'm happy for him. I couldn't care less of the destruction he caused when he was younger. I'm happy he became saved. The guy at Stone Fox Media got his life together. He lost a whole bunch of subscribers. Does he care about that? No, he don't care about that at all, period. He serves God. I'm happy for him. You ever heard of a guy called JJ Icefish? He sung these songs, rap songs, and carried on. He smoked weed and carried on and drank and did all this cursing and carrying on. He's a Christian man. Did you know that? He became a Christian. I follow him I used to follow him on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore. He's on another platform, on Instagram. But yeah, I follow him. He became a Christian. 100% born again Christian. He preaches about the Lord. He's married, has a beautiful wife, got his life together. So happy for him. So happy for him. His life is far better than what he was. Way better than what he was. He got married and got a wife. Yeah. That calling came and they answered it. They answered the calling. These are people you wouldn't believe at the end of the day. They can be saved and they answer the calling. Happy for them. I'm so glad I answered my calling. I'm so glad I did not flush that Bible down the toilet. And I'm so happy for the trial and tribulations I had to go through. Some days you will say, why, Lord? I have said that before. Why, Lord? Why am I going through this? Why that? And the other Lord said, be patient. I got something for you. Just got to be patient about it. I got you. Just like these people attacking me. You're my trial and tribulations. You know that? Lord teaches me patience with you. He does. He teaches me the proper way how to handle a situation when the devil comes at you. You make me stronger. Because I could handle this another way. I could pick up a phone and I can make a phone call to some friends way back in the day. People that are well connected. And I can put your name out there. And I can make you disappear. I could do that easily. But I'm not that person. That person died a long time ago. I got family members that you mentioned names that I know at the end of the day would handle that no time at all. I could literally call one of them and say, hey, this is where his address is at. Hey, we decided not to prosecute him. You handle it. It's your problem now. Easy could do that. But I'll be following Satan when I do that. I won't be serving my Lord. And that means the person who came down from heaven and hung himself on a cross to die for me, all the pain and torture he went for me, that'd be like me being down there spitting in his face at the end of the day. Or me being one of those soldiers that are whipping and beating on him and spitting on him. That's what it would be at the end of the day. I don't stab my friends in the back. I'm loyal to my friends. I'm even loyaler to God. At the end of the day, he gave me something that I didn't deserve. He had my back 100%. He's never lied to me, never stole to me, never ripped me off, kept every single promise that he kept. Saved my life twice. Saved my life out of the prison system and made me a free man, and basically turned around and gave me salvation. That is a wonderful blessing at the end of the day. So my trials and tribulations with these individuals, but when the devil comes at me, trying to take and destroy, trying to tarnish my blessings at the end of the day, I could have taken the road that Satan put before me on saying that, I ain't gonna let these people talk to you like that. You're gonna make some phone calls, get it taken care of. I could have done that, but nope. I rebuke Satan. I go in a different direction. I pray and ask the Lord, how do I handle this situation? I ask him that I don't want to handle this situation through anger and hatred. So I give it all to God, and the Lord directs me. I gather all the information, I gather all the things that you've done against me, and I take it to court, which is the proper way to do things. I file lawsuits against you to take the things from you for the things you try to take from me. Now, the jail time that comes with it, unfortunately, the things they've done comes with very hefty jail time. And Satan knew they were going to get this heavy jail time. That's the reason why he coached you into doing these dumb acts. When your time comes, you're going to have to make your decision on who you choose. Either you choose the devil or you choose God. If you get that opportunity, because that's a blessing to be able to get the opportunity to choose. Some people don't get that choice. You can have a person out there running and carrying on and up in the streets, like my little young ones in my family, and they were killed, and they didn't get the opportunity. Not everybody gets the opportunity, not everybody gets the choice. If you got the choice after neglecting God, after carrying on, after serving the devil, and you got the option and choice that comes your way, you had better take it. Because some people don't even get that. Some people will sin and carry on, walk out that door, a car can jump the curb and take you out. You know how fast you can be killed on the sidewalk? Very easy. Anyone can jump. Just think about it. Anybody any day can just lose their mind one day and go, you know what, just run over a bunch of people. People do that all the time. Just run over people. Just jump the curb. Run over people. Jump. Sitting in the restaurant eating. People drive cars in restaurants all the time. Just think how well you're protected. One of the crazy stuff that anything could happen to you. That's like having a meteor shower that's striking the earth with car meters the size of Volkswagens. It's kind of hard to get out of that situation. That's what your life is literally like every time you walk out a door. Even when you're inside, your life is in danger. A number of things can happen to you. Even when you eat, a lot of things can happen to you. But the fact you're able to sit down and enjoy a meal, get up and walk outside, get in your car, drive home, and you're still in one piece, is a blessing. It don't have to be that way. And the devil's sitting there thinking about all the evil things to do to you. I can get him choked to death on this food. I mean, he's eating that steak, or I can down there. I can give him a heart attack right now. I mean, you kind of can push him in that direction. What if he walks outside and gets somebody to walk up and put a gun on him? Go to the 18 machine. I can get him something, get him shot. People want to say, anyway, so I was saying that, yeah, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You got to pray. You got to pray. And that's why you guys, at the end of the day, I consider you our trial and tribulations. I do. You are my new trial and tribulations. I had to think about that. So, Lord, why are these people attacking me? Why are you allowing them to attack me? Why are you allowing them to come after me like this? Lord said they can't touch you. They can't hurt you. They can't take your blessings from you. It's not going to happen. And I'm trying to figure out why. I'm thinking, oh, this is my new trials and tribulations. Because again, mind you, our company's about to blow up. We got all this new insane technology. And yeah, we're going to have some pretty interesting people trying to take it away from us. We know that from the door. I got to be prepared for whatever the devil's going to try. I got to keep it humble. Because I know the Lord will send people, not the Lord, the devil will send people your way. The Lord will send people your way, but the devil will send people your way to twist your mind up. Get you caught on drugs, messing with a bunch of bad women, get caught up in some really bad stuff, sink you deep in there, and the devil will come in and fill you full of depression. Get you kill yourself. Now he got you. He took God's blessing, took it from you, and it turned around, tainted it, so he can kill you. Because they'll try to get you to commit suicide. No, I'd second. Be careful about that one. But anyway, as I said before, this is trial and tribulations. So now, I used to get upset and bothered by it. And then I see what the Lord's doing and what he's training me and getting me ready for. And I see all this wonderful technology we're blessed to have. And I see what his plans is to build me and make me stronger. So that way I can deal with whatever the devil has plans, whatever he's working on, knowing that this next stage that we're about to reach, that he does not want it to happen. So you can't stop God's plans. You can't take away anything from us. And everything you do brings us no damage at all. Everything that you do brings damage to yourself. That's what it does. And the devil is plotting and planning on your life. Take it as the way you want to take it. I'm pretty sure when you tell somebody stuff like this, what happens is they get angry with you. They get mad with you, and they'll sit there and say, oh yeah, nothing's going to happen to me, this, that, and the other, so and so and so, I'm going to keep doing what I got to keep doing, blah, 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 you're this, you're that. Yeah, I guarantee he told you that. I guarantee you. He told me the same thing too when I was hating other people out there. He told me the same thing. I know you're lying already from the door. I know exactly what you're thinking too at the same time. Probably think, how is he in my head rent free? Because I know the devil at the end of the day. I served him. That's how I know. Meanwhile, the Lord's up there saying that's not going to happen at all, period. What did I say here? In the middle of this floor, what did I say? I said, if I'm all these things, right? If I'm all these things that I'm claimed to be at the end of the day, I'm all these things, may the Lord take it from me. May the Lord take it all from me. May he cast us out in the street. May I lose everything. May all our technology just cease to function. It just nothing works at all whatsoever. What happened? We got blessed with the technology that's way beyond our imagination. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. It's that great of a scale. And the applications it has is endless. We can change it, alter it to anything we want. I can convert that technology to it. Matter of fact, we got a version, a Brown version, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, yeah, there's no end to it. There's no possible end to it. It just goes, it's an infinity. That's what we have here. A technology that we can engineer into anything. Look at that. 300 lumen projector. I've never operated 300 lumen projectors. Not in the kind of lighting that we can operate in. It's insane. But that's God's blessings right there. Doesn't phase it at all. And I sat there and made that statement. Did my Lord back up what he said? Did my Lord back up on who he is with us? Did he back it up? That's the question. Did the Lord back it up? You got Mr. Williams over there who calls himself a preacher, a man of God, a person who ushers people into the light to find God, and yet he steals from God. We've gotten emails with him cursing us out, using all kinds of curses and all kinds of stuff. And this is supposed to be a man of God. This is a man who writes on his YouTube channel that he is a person that's going to help people get in to seek and find God. And yet you steal from him. Bold. Extremely bold to steal from God. I'm going to add this in here too. Now, he'll get mad over this and upset and angry, and that you'll see the devil. You'll see him. Because this angers you for what I just said, then that means you're showing the side of the devil. You should have got on your YouTube channel, you should have repented. You should have basically asked the Lord for forgiveness, but you didn't ask for forgiveness. You lashed out because you're angry. You just showed the devil. When I ask for your credentials, when I ask for your clergy ID, when I ask for any diploma, doctorate, any form of degree showing that you have a degree in biblical Bible studies, you didn't show anything. You went in front of a Burlington coat factory and you ranted and carried on and acted up. You actually were speaking the tongue of the devil. You have requested money from people, asking for donations to send you money monthly. And you are not a man of God. You're not a man of the cloth. So what would that make you at the end of the day? That'd make you a thief. That'd make you a scammer, a rip-off artist. You would be the descendants of the people that were selling inside that church, that Jesus went in and took a stick and beat them out of the church. And turned my father's house into a den of thieves. That's what you're descendants from. The thing about it is, if you get your life together and you get on your knees and you ask the Lord for forgiveness, he will forgive you. But you won't do that because you're high and mighty. And I see the arrogance in your eyes that you refuse to do this because you have this show to put on. You know, Pharaoh had a show to put on too, and what happened to him? He was crushed by a wall of water that killed him. The road you're traveling down is a road the devil knows all too well. So you're not saving anybody, you're not helping anybody. Here's the thing, what Jesus said. It's like the blind leading the blind. First you have to take the plank from your eye to see clearly to take the plank from someone else's eye. So how can you call yourself a man that is helping other people get to know God when you don't know him yourself? You're blind. So how are you going to teach someone to see when you can't see? Mr. Williams is a thief. Mr. Williams has robbed people. Mr. Williams is a liar of the church. You're not in these things at all. You're not a Christian man. If you are a Christian and you were saved, then you are far from your cross. You have dropped your cross to get money. That's what you did. You're carrying your cross and you see some money on the ground. Hard for you to pick it up and carry your cross at the same time. So you have to make a choice. You can go chase that money, or you can carry your cross and go in a different direction. You chose to put your cross down, use both hands to pick up that money. Now you're so far from your cross that you've forgotten who you are. And look at the way you carry yourself. Screaming, carrying on, and acting up. God bless you to be in a facility that technically you should not be in there. You're in in those places like that, when they put a single man in there, they're in like kind of a probation period, because technically they really lean toward families. They lean toward single mother and family. So they lean toward. For a single man to get in one of these places, really, really rare to get in one of those. And the Lord blessed you to get into that place. Now, in a place like that, all utilities are cheaper, chances are probably the internet could be free, stuff like that. I know we didn't have internet because way back when we were coming up, we didn't have any internet. But I know for a fact that the rent and all that's cheap, because I lived in Section 8. I was in Section 8 in-house, public housing. I was in both of them with my mom. So I know about that. I know the rules and regulations and all this stuff in those places. And I told you, I know people in your building. I know your rules. They even sent me the whole guideline of what's in your building, what you can't have, the rules and regulations. I read through that whole thing. You violated a whole bunch of those rules. A lot of them. So, Mr. Williams, I'm pretty sure that the e-bikes that you purchased at the end of the day, they are quite costly. I'm pretty sure that you got that money from people who donated from your church. Well, you don't have a church, because I've requested the address. I've requested witnesses that will testify that you are this person who you say you are, and you never came back with anything at all, period. And I'm pretty sure the people in the building are going to answer the same questions too. Now, if you're mad because you're about to be evicted, whose fault is that? It's not my fault, it's your fault. And I'll tell you why it's your fault. Because you went out and you broke every rule you could possibly think of while you were in that building. You were blessed. You got a blessing to be in that building. I talked to people now and I said, yeah, he's a single guy at the end of the day, no family. And I told him, I said, we used to be in Section 8. We were in Section 8 and we were in public housing. Now, my mom had a family. It was easy for her to get in. She started going on a waiting list, but still she was able to get in. And I realized, it's harder, knowing people that were in there, told me it's really hard for a single person to get into a place like that. Because they're on a waiting list, like a really long waiting list. You could be there for a couple of years. You could be there 4 or 5 years on a waiting list to get one of them houses. And he was able to get one. He was able to get one of the apartments. He was in the low rise and the high rise. He was able to get one of the apartments. And what did you do with God's blessings while you were in that unit? You probably were stealing from God a lot longer than that. So you stole from God. You pray and ask the Lord to bless you to be in a situation like that, but yet you steal from him at the same time. And then you turn around and you attack one of his people. Called me a fake Christian. Even called me the devil. Is the Lord like that at the end of the day? What you said, things you said to me, what you try to do? The very blessings that my Lord gives me, you try to taint them and make them look like we're liars at the end of the day. You think the Lord likes that? No, he doesn't. So your situation and what you're going to go through, this is going to be your trials and tribulations and your deciding point on where you go. Because you're getting removed from that building. You're definitely leaving the building. I read through that document. And under those documents, impersonating a minister, not only impersonating a minister, which is identity theft, which is also too considered to be a criminal activity, there's other things of taking donations from people, which we clearly showed them a Cash App with your name on it. The account has your name on it. And the PayPal donation that has your name on it too. Asking for monthly donations. And then we sent them promo demonstrations showing you promoting that you have a church. Your Facebook page, which you removed off your account. If it wasn't criminal activity, why would you remove the Facebook page? You removed it because you know on the Facebook page your picture was on it, but your YouTube channel's there, and they have your YouTube channel, all your YouTube channels. We duplicated, they sent them over to them, all the evidence needed. Now, if you sit there and say, well, you're supposed to be a Christian, you're supposed to forgive and forget. Mr. Williams, the first time you contacted my company, I let it go. The second time you contacted my company, we let it go. The third time you contacted my company, I let it go. On your YouTube channel, when you were slandering my company, I let it go. You kept doing this over and over again, and we kept letting it go. And we said, okay, we're fine, we're going to take care of it. And this is what we did, we took care of it. I gave you fair warning. I told you to back it down and cool it. Didn't I? What did you do? You came at me hostile and started carrying on and acting up. That's what you did, right? So, who do you have to blame for the outcome of what's going to happen to you? You. We gave you the opportunity. All I do is just send back 3 or 4 of those emails to him and say, look, this guy's been contacting you using your Xfinity internet, and we pinged his account, and it came back over there. Yeah, the evidence right there. He's been harassing us. On top of that, he's been contacting us, claiming to be a minister. Did a background check on him. He doesn't have any credentials claiming to be this. And then digging even farther into, you found out you have links showing people asking them for money, which is a scam at the end of the day. Scam, impersonate, identity theft, and theft at the same time. So easy, open and shut. Could have taken care of you a long time ago, but we let it go. When things got to the point, and I prayed to the Lord and asked the Lord about it, none of that stuff was taken out of anger. And you think it was taken out of anger. No, that's the way you do things. I prayed and asked the Lord how to handle this situation. The Lord said, go forth. And that's what I did. I gathered up all the information, everything we needed. I was able to look at the letters that you sent in, which had the address of the building you're in on each one of those letters. And your handwritings on them. You know, they matched your handwriting to how you signed your lease and everything else you have over there. Your handwriting's on stuff. So they were able to match your handwriting. All that's there. And it has the building on it. We even have you in videos mention our names multiple times, slandering our company inside their building, which you're not supposed to do. You're broadcasting on YouTube the inside of their building, which is housing, public housing, and committing crimes. So you did it to yourself. Now I got to reach back out to them Monday morning. We had to send over more evidence. We had to send over docket numbers where we had to file criminal charges against you. All of that. You know what happens now? They're getting a lawyer. The housing, I think, authority, they get a lawyer. They have a lawyer because they have to take them to court. He has to go to court, and this is the process for eviction. They don't give you eviction over from the door. You got to go to court for this. We all know how that works. So they'll post his door, let him know that he has an eviction court case coming up, and with all the evidence we provided to them showing you clearly breaking the rules and regulations of that building, of attacking us, and the way you've been carrying on and acting up, and your address shows up. We sent them a detailed email of statements of problems we've been having with you, and that's the end of it. Now, on our end, once they finish what they had to do and you're removed out of the building, they contact your caseworker, because your caseworker has to know about this, because while you were removed out of this building, you committed crimes. Which now we're coming in, and the next stage for us is we're going to file charges against you. Charges are being filed against you for basically the criminal acts, cyber harassment, cyber bullying, terroristic threats. All that stuff is being filed against you, and they can carry 20-year prison sentences, including the lawsuit he's going to be hit with, which it could be about $200,000 or $250,000 what he decided to hit him with. And this is bad for him. He messed up literally that badly, following the devil, doing the devil's work. That's what the devil did to him. And people like that will sit there and blame other people. Oh, it's their fault, so they should have been more forgiving. They should have let me continue to slander them and attack their family. It's wrong for them to stand up for themselves. No, it would have been wrong, Mr. Williams, if I would have contacted some people over in Baltimore, Maryland that I know at the end of the day and say, hey, look, I got a problem with that building over there. This is what he looks like. This is his name. And they would have found you. That would have been wrong. That's what the devil wanted me to do. I don't entertain the devil. I entertain God. So what I did was I prayed and said, Lord, take any anger, take any hatred I have out of my heart against this man, and help me to walk the straight and narrow path of doing what needs to be done. So whatever I did when I had to file for all these different court cases and stuff, I made sure I prayed before the Lord. So I had no hatred or no anger toward these people when I had to do this. Because I don't entertain the devil. I don't give him an inch in at all, period, because I know what he's designed to do. I already followed his path already, and his path leads to nothing but death and destruction. And gentlemen, that's what you've done to yourselves. So attacking me, nothing. Zero. Nothing. All you did was allow me to understand my Lord's perfect plan of trials and tribulations to make me a stronger Christian, but in the process you allow the devil to basically rip and tear up your lives. And you're going to need the Lord to fix it. That's what you're going to need. All right, people. I got some stuff I want to do. Waiting for my thing to charge up. I'm supposed to be outside. So I finally got the fire stick to work. I have no idea why. It's working. God's amazing. I couldn't get that fire stick to work for jack. I couldn't get it to work for jack. And now it's working. It's working perfectly fine. Everything happens for a reason. That's why I don't get mad at stuff at the end of the day. Everything happens for a reason. If something doesn't work out in your life, Christian, something doesn't work out in your life, don't push it. Don't get upset about it. Give it to God. It's happening for a reason. That's the reason why it happens for a reason. You don't get that job promotion, there's a reason why. It can be something at that job that can make your life very, very miserable every single day. Every day. Just say, hey, well, it's not meant to be. Whatever the Lord has plans, He's going to have plans for it. Whatever happens in your life at the end of the day. Say you got bills due. Say you got to do this. Don't worry about that. God has that taken care of. It's already taken care of. So you don't get that job promotion. That's not going to destroy your life. You're not going to get your power and all that stuff shut off. Whatever happens, the Lord's going to fix it all. That's what's going to happen. Let me tell you something. The last days when I was living up in Havertown, the Lord slowed my money down dramatically, very slow. Now, no, this had nothing to do with these haters out there. No, you don't take anything from us. You got to remember that. You take nothing from me. The Lord will slow it down, like Job. Slow it down. He slowed down our money dramatically. Enough to pay what we had to pay, but he slowed it down. Because the Lord knew that I wanted to live in that house. I wanted to stay in that house. And the Lord's like, no, you can't stay there. It's time for you to go. I got other things for you to do. Like right here, what I'm doing now. I got other things for you to do. When I sit back here and I see what the Lord has plans for us and how the technology blessed me, I couldn't do what I was doing here living in that house. I need to be somewhere where this technology gets exposure, where people can see it as much as possible. And why? To make millions of dollars. Why? To use that money to help other people out and let them know at the end of the day that my Lord and Savior is responsible for every dollar bill that crosses my hand comes from God, to glorify his name even higher on a higher level. But not only that, using the very same blessing that he gave us to be able to help other people and usher them to see God, to understand God, to know his goodness. Now it's up to them whether they accept the Lord or not. But at least I'm out there talking about it. At least I'm giving people that opportunity to know about how good God is. Everything happens for a reason. But I wanted to stay in that house. And the Lord's like, no, you gotta go. You can't be here. So I'm gonna slow your money down. He slowed the money down. He slowed it down. Now, at one point, my electric bill became extremely expensive. I could easily pay this off with no problem whatsoever. No. Again, we expect for people that are not of God to take this and go, oh, that's what you do. You talk the devil's talk. But let's move on. But anyway, so that money slowed down. And my electricity was in the process of being shut off that day. So I sat there and I bought myself, the last of my money, I went and bought battery backups, flashlights, stuff like that, because I knew we were going to probably be in the dark for a few days. So, because I have a medical history, with lung disease, which I was suffering from when I was in there, they technically can't shut those lights off because I'd had a machine to help me basically clear my lungs. So, with that being said, the problem we had there, with it being on a Friday, that the doctor that could have signed off on it to allow my lights to stay on wasn't there. He left early. Man, I'm thinking, Lord, we're going to have to, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. We're going to be able to handle this because I know you have my back. With us worried about lights being on? Yeah, I was worried about being in the dark and having my lights off, but I knew nothing weird, nothing scared about it. And God controlled all things. Just didn't want to be in there with no lights on. So, as I prayed on this, I contacted one of my family members over here and told him the situation and that I may have to borrow some money from him because I don't have the money that they want me to have up front to pay for this bill to come back on. It's like $1,000. So my family was like, no problem. You let us know and we'll transfer it through. So here I am. My phone is on the very edge of this battery. And I'm contacting all these people so I can contact someone so they can sign off on this document that gives us an order to have our lights on because of the medical condition I'm suffering under. And my phone's on next to nothing. And somehow this battery lasts longer, like almost the whole day in the red, on the very edge of the red at 5%. That battery maintained at 5% when I was making all those phone calls. And finally got a hold of the nurse, the head nurse. And she said, I'll sign on it because I can have a head nurse or I can have a doctor for that notice. And she signed off on it. Sent it over to the building, Pico, to turn the power, to keep the power on. But no sooner than that call went through, the power shut off. They shut my power off. So now there's no power in the building. Nothing at all. No fans, nothing in there. Because I need fans to breathe because the air and the air cleaners and stuff all off. So I'm in there with no power. Now, I'm trying to figure out ways how to keep my phone charged. I know for a fact that the speakers that I have battery packs in them, and I can easily plug stuff up with them, and I can use them as a charge unit. And that's what I was doing. I was charging my phone off the cordless speakers I had to have battery packs, and they can charge phones. So I was using that for the time being. So battery still on life support, 5%. And I'm making those phone calls in there, and I'm not reaching anybody. Nobody's getting through, but I'm putting my faith in the Lord. I'm praying and putting in his hands. And Lord, I know you're going to get me through this. I know you're going to get me through this. You have never, ever let me down before. Sure enough, the nurse pops up. She signs off on the order. The order goes over to Pico. Pico tells me that they can't get the lights on until Monday. No sooner than I go to hang the phone up, all the lights pop on. Every single one of them. The Lord allowed every single light to cut on in that building, and that woman signed off on that document. You know, it's even more of a bigger blessing than that. When the doctor came back, he was a nasty piece of work. That's one of the doctors was a nasty piece of work. He said that, who cares? I would have signed off on it anyway. So even if I did reach the doctor, he was going to sign off on it anyway. He wasn't going to sign that document. It was meant for the nurse to sign off on it. And the minute it went over to Pico, Pico turned the lights on right away. So I had all my power and lights on, everything. Trials and tribulations is how you learn at the end of the day. That's how you learn to become stronger, to put more faith in God. I didn't have to borrow any money from my family, nothing whatsoever. Money started to flow. Bills were taken care of. And the Lord said, it's time to go. And that's when we started packing everything up. Put my nose in that we were going to leave, and we left. I didn't leave from you people who serve the devil. I didn't leave because we owed a ton of money. We had to leave. No, I left because the Lord gave me direction. It's time to go. And that's what he told me, and it's time for me to leave. There are other places you have to be at, and where you have to be at, this technology, this blessing that I give you, I want the world to know who gave this to you. I want the world to know what I bless you to have. You will not keep this under a lamp. You will not keep this covered up. You will expose this to the world for the world to see my hand in what I do. And that's what I'm going to do with it. So, you naysayers, you people who serve the devil, you come at me if you will. But I got something to tell you. At the end of the day, you see this blessing around me? You see all this goodness that the Lord gave to me? It will not be snuffed out. It will not be taken from me. It will not disappear. It will shine as a beacon on the top of a mountain for all to see, and all will know at the end of the day that my blessings came from my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And there's nothing you can do to stop me from getting it done. That being said, I hope you enjoyed. I got to go. Got some work I got to do. Thank you all, and God bless.